Good evening. Welcome to Joe Kennedy, All Over Politics. Tonight, we have Dave Carnevale, who is running for Massachusetts State Senate in the 2nd Middlesex District. But first, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Keynesian economic theory. Now, before you say, oh my God, I'm not going to listen to Joe yell about Keynesian economic theory for 5 minutes, I'm going to make it really, really simple. There's two schools of thought when it comes to government economics. There's the Keynesian theory, and there's the Austrian theory. So let's not talk about them like that. Keynesian theory basically means you think that you can screw with the economy. You think that you can make political policies and adjustments in laws and taxes and rules and incentives that are going to stimulate the economy. Austrian economics is very, very simple. It basically states that the only thing that really needs protection is the transaction between two individuals. Now, it is a little bit more complicated than that, but the free market economics is the Austrian system. And what we're really saying with Austrian economics is, if I want to buy something and you want to sell something, and we have an agreement as to how that exchange is going to happen, as long as there are laws that govern that simple exchange, meaning I can't cheat you out of something and you can't cheat me out of something, then the economy will roll along accordingly. Now, Keynesian economics came around probably actually a little bit over 100 years ago, but was very, very prevalent in the 1920s and 30s, specifically around the Great Depression. Now, what does Keynes believe? Keynesian economic theories, again, believes that you can inject money into the economy. It means that you can give a bailout. We've been giving bailouts for years. It also believes that you can tax people and take the money and create government jobs with them, or other jobs that are basically government-regulated jobs, whether it's building of bridges or whatever, to stimulate economic growth. The reality is that this concept has been disproven throughout history time and time and time again. If we take a look at how Keynesian economics grew up, we can figure it out very, very simply. It wasn't something that anybody ever experienced. It was a guy sitting in a room who thought a good idea would be if we could take a little bit more control over the economy. So we're going to throw money into different sectors of the economy and let it happen. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do it by taking money from other people. This is a great idea. So what has Keynesian economics done? It has taken what used to be the Great Recession back in the 20s, and which actually probably would have been a small recession, and ballooned it into the Great Depression based upon faulty government allocations of money into different private sectors and ridiculous taxation that was going on at the time. Again, I talked about it before in one of my other conversations. During the Great Depression, we saw almost a 50% increase in taxation over a 10-year period of time. Unbelievable taxation. And what else have we seen? Simply enough, Keynesian economics creates the concept of bubbles. Bubbles are what makes things crash, whether it's the Great Depression of the 1930s or what we're going through now, which is really the Second Great Depression, because we do have about 22% unemployment that the government doesn't want to tell you about. The reality of bubbles can be seen in things like cash for clunkers. Let's think, was this a good idea? We invested a whole bunch of money into cash for clunkers, basically $3 billion to pay for 125,000 cars, which is $24,000 per car that the taxpayer paid. And what did we get back? We got $8,000 per consumer. Where did the rest of the money go? And what happened right after? Right after cash for clunkers ended, we had the biggest recession that we have seen in years in buying of cars. The exact same thing happened with the housing bubble. What happened? We created all these investment vehicles. We injected huge amounts of money into the economy, telling people that it was a great idea to buy houses. And what happened? The thing blew up. Keynesian economics is both Republican and Democrat that's up in Washington today. It's got to be getting rid of. Geithner's got to get rid of. The Fed Reserve has to be gotten rid of. All of these things have to go if we're getting out of this economy and this rut. Thanks. Dave Carnevale's next.